Hey, it's been a while since I've made a video like this. I wanted to talk about a specific topic related to what are known as Zillennials, or the kind of cross section of Gen Z and Gen Y, also known as Millennials. Specifically, the years 1992 to 1998. If you're born within that range, you have what's considered, I suppose, a distinctly unique childhood. Some of the factors include things like remembering 9/11 if you're in the US, or things like relating more, like kind of there being a split between relating more to Gen Y or to Gen Z. The thing I want to focus on is the technology aspect of it. That was a specific period where we had the analog experience, but then also we witnessed the transformation to digital. And if you belong to that range, you kind of grew up in the puberty era of technology. What I mean by that is when you first started using tech, it didn't work all that well. You had to like learn how it worked to get it to work. You had to restart your computer to get it to function. You had to really troubleshoot things on your own. And what separated our age from older folks is we had nothing to lose. So our first device, whether it was an MP3 player or whether it was a desktop computer we got to share or whatever it was, there was very little baggage. There's very little at stake, little stakes, because we came into it with just doing goofy things and we had a lot of free time to try it out. Whereas adults trying to adopt to this technology at the time, if they're trying to migrate something like their family calendar or their photos or a business plan or something like that, there was real risk in doing that because they had something to lose. Whereas kids at the time didn't. And so we were far more, we engaged in far more experimentation, and we were able to just try things and kind of adapt more smoothly. Then, of course, everyone born after 1998, roughly speaking, probably a little bit later than that, were what are considered to be iPad kids. iPad kids, by the time that they were kind of growing up and using technology, it all just worked a lot better than when we were growing up. But as a consequence, the minute something did go wrong, they have absolutely no idea how to fix it. They have no concept of file systems or things like that. Now, of course, I'm painting with broad strokes here. Obviously, there are plenty of tech literate folks born after 1998. But generally speaking, I think that Zillennial slice or uniquely had these unique experiences of like independent childhood to using social apps, and I just find that really interesting. I think the puberty era of technology made us very literate and really understand the stuff, so that by the time it really came around and became really good, I think we really appreciated it and we still kind of understood it. So if it did, have errors, we were sort of the designated tech support person in our respective families as a result. So, and you have older generations that refuse to adopt change at all. You have younger folks that are better at adopting change, but they also don't fully understand how things work, and they aren't as able to think outside of the box, in my experience. And also, it could be argued that this experimentation puberty era stuff has led to a lot of confusion and technology abuse, whether it comes to an abundance of screen time or being terminally online or something like that. And there's a big resurgence lately to return to analog, to return to simpler things, and going to dumb phones again. I think it's all very interesting. I would really love to know what you guys think of it. Are you considered a Zillennial? Were you born between 1992 and 1998? So I'd love to hear about some of your formative childhood experiences, your early experiences with technology and things like that. I can share a bit from mine. I think the first computer I used was Windows 95, and I remember loving using Microsoft Paint when that came out eventually. I don't know if that was on 98 or 2000, I don't remember. And then also just typing random things in Microsoft Word. And it's a very Windows, Microsoft centric set of experiences. And because there were video games as well that we got the Nintendo Entertainment Center. And then in 2006 we got high-speed internet, and that changed everything. It was awesome. I immediately made a website. I'll talk a bit about this in another video, but anyway, I'm just interested in these early in the folks born in this range of dates and their early experiences with tech, and how comfortable you feel with tech, what your relationship is with it, or do you resent it? Do you embrace it? Is there some kind of in between? Anyway, would love to hear from you on that. I just moved, so if this background looks different, I'm in the process of building this office again, and I'm very thankful for the experience. And I also have a daughter now, so I have a son and a daughter, and my wife and I are raising them, and I'm trying to run my marketing agency. So there's a little life update for you there thrown at the end. Anyhow, back to this topic of kind of digital puberty era or technology puberty era and Zillennials. Please let me know what you think. I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye.